Chin drawn down towards the base of your throat. And noticing the natural flow of your breath in both sides of your nostrils. We're not changing the breath at all here. We are merely observing the natural flow. And as you tune into that natural flow in both sides of your nostrils, begin to notice if one side is flowing more freely than the other. And see if we can find a sense of equanimity to our breath in both sides of the nostrils. Even sense of inhalation, even sense of exhalation. Beginning to notice the natural pause between both inhalation and exhalation. And taking the arms a little further out to the side so you feel a opening into the chest, maybe taking them out to shoulder height or in such a way that you can maintain the elbows and the back of the arms sinking into the ground, palms facing up. Notice the gentle opening and expansiveness now into the abdomen, chest and rib cage being open. So the next time you breathe out, draw the navel slightly into the back of the spine, squeeze that last drop of air out. And the next time you breathe in, breathe into the navel, expand it out and keep drawing your breath into the upper chest, expand it into the rib cages and descending the breath out and down from here. So continue to move into a whole body breath. The breath begins in the abdomen, draws up into the upper chest and expands into the rib cage. And then the breath descends out and down from here. Keep connection to the wave of your breath being drawn up, over and out to the sides of your torso, and descension of the breath out and down the torso. Do 3 more breaths here. Keeping the awareness now placed in a breath at the abdomen, noticing and following the abdomen as it expands with your inhalation. Notice and follow the abdomen as it empties out completely on the exhalation. Taking your arms over the back of your head, keep them at least shoulder width apart. Driving the tips of your thumbs to the floor and lengthen back through your fingertips. From here, see if we can soften the shoulder blades down into the back and towards the floor. As we lengthen the back through the top fingers, opening into the armpits and softening your shoulder blades down the back. Consciously soften the front of your rib cage. Draw the front of your rib cage in and down. And start to lengthen your sacrum and tailbone towards your heels. Take a deep breath in and lengthen in each direction. Lengthen back through your fingers, extend out through the toes, and then breathing out, relaxing the arms down to the floor, palms down, bend the knees, feet on the floor, and roll over to the side. From here, shifting the roll into the upper thoracic, so turning it sideways, and it's going to be placed between our shoulder blades. Most likely, using a block to rest the back of the head on might be quite nice because we're bringing the arms in front of the blanket. So the knees stay bent. The roll is between the shoulder blades. We take the arms in front and out to the side like a T shape and rest the back of the head maybe onto a block or in such a way that the neck is in line with your spine. So we want the chin drawn in and down and able to maintain that softness. The back of the elbows, forearms, and the back of the hands are in contact with the floor. And we should be feeling a comfortable but an expansive opening into the chest and the rib cage here. If the pressure is too much for your lower back, then by all means, please bend your knees and keep your feet onto the mat. Otherwise, straightening the legs out. And again, softening the front of the rib cage down. And by softening and drawing the front of the rib cage down towards your back, lengthening the base of your rib cage down towards your abdomen and lightly feeling the effect of the abdomen drawing down into the spine as you do this. Softness into the face and softness into the jaw and the neck as you feel that the back of the shoulders can soften towards and into the floor. Expansiveness of the breath into the abdomen. And through the expansiveness of your breath into your abdomen, invite a sense of softness here. Softness into the abdomen, into the lower belly, and a sense of softness into the hips and to the top of your thighs. Again, take your arms over the back of your head in a straight line, taking them shoulder width apart. Lengthen back through your fingertips. Feel that someone is maybe holding on to your wrists and lengthening your arms behind you as you soften your shoulder blades down into the roll. Soften the rib cage down into the back and lengthen out through your heels and through your toes. And then taking your arms down to the floor, palms down, bend your knees, feet on the floor, and roll all the way over to one side to slowly come up. And removing the blanket roll off to one side. Come back, take the block onto the high end. We'll go into my favourite neck rolls for releasing tension. So come back onto your back, knees bent, and place this block to support the back of your skull and have the ridge of your block so it's underneath the base of your skull, gently into that upper neck muscles just before they insert into the back of the skull. Arms are out to the side in such a way that your shoulders and elbows and back of forearms are on the floor. And you begin by taking the expansive breath into the abdomen and torso, and on the exhalation, turning your head all the way to one side, it doesn't matter which side, feeling the ear soften down into the block. As you begin to breathe in, this initiates the movement of rolling the ridge of the block into the upper neck muscles as your head comes into the block. As you feel yourself breathe out, you initiate the movement into the opposite direction, softening that ear down towards and into the block. Continue with this way. The breath is initiating the movement, and keep the back of your head heavy into the block because we want to be feeling that the ridge of the block is starting to massage into the base of the skull, the nape of your neck muscles. And if you find a nice juicy little knot there, then pause and use that ridge of the block to massage back and forth. We're going to do a few more cycles on each side because, again, this is not a movement we want to hurry. This is a movement that we kind of want to luxuriate in the enjoyment of the ridge massaging into that upper neck muscle. A lot of us might have been spending a bit more time on a computer, so definitely this helps to relieve the tension here. Focus on the back of the head heavy, the ridge of the block massaging into your upper neck muscles, chin is drawn in and down. Do one more time slowly, moving with your breath in each direction, allowing the back of the arms to be heavy into the floor. And then when your head comes back to the center, pause, and then roll over to one side. From here, come back onto your back with your block in your hand. Again, making sure your neck is in line with your spine, possibly placing another blanket or pillow behind the back of the neck and head so your chin draws in and down. Using the block, press through your feet and lift your hips and buttocks up to the ceiling and place your block underneath your sacrum, moving into a supported bridge pose. Your feet are hip width apart and the block is underneath your sacrum buttocks. Your palms are facing down. From here, take your arms a little bit out to the sides of the body to create space in chest and shoulders. And then begin to roll your forearms and your palms up towards the ceiling. From here, draw the chin down towards the base of your throat, drawing length into the back of the neck. And again, just settle and soften the sacrum down into the block. Just having a few more breaths here into a slight inversion pose. Really good way to allow a softening into the breathing. Helps with high blood pressure, decreases heart rate, and has shown to have quite a positive effect on the thyroid. So bonus in all places. Also with the chin drawn in and down, replacing a little bit of a neck lock, so helps to lengthen and release into the back of the neck. From here, take your arms over the back of the head again. Keep the arms a good shoulder width apart and soften the arms into the floor. Just have a few more breaths here. And then straighten both legs out along the floor. So we're using a block. Sometimes we do this with a bolster to lengthen and open into the whole frontal plane of the body. As much as possible, sink the buttocks and sacrum comfortably down into the block, having an opening into your hip creases, opening into the front of your thighs, and lengthening through that whole sides of your body, allowing a nice little opening into the lumbar as well. A few more breaths here. Bend your knees, feet on the floor, bring the arms down, press through your feet, lift the buttocks up, remove your block, just take it off to one side so it's handy, come onto your back, knees are bent, feet on the floor, arms down. From here, just doing some head moving from side to side. So take a breath in, to the right as you breathe out, just turning the head to the right. So your right ear rolls along the mat towards your right shoulder, just like we did on the block. Breathe in, bring your head back to the center. Breathing out, rolling your head to the left ear into the mat, into the floor. Breathe into the center. 2 more times on each side, just helping to release and soften into the back of the neck. Again, we're moving with the breath, so we're not hurrying this movement. And we want to have a little bit of self-inquiry. Which ear moves with the most sense of freedom into the mat? Or is one ear quite far off, meaning one side of the neck is pulling onto the side? Let's do one more time and really notice which side of the neck, shoulder, has the most range of movement with freedom. And then come back to the center. Now hug your left thigh and knee into your chest and straighten your right leg out along the floor. Keep drawing your left thigh and knee into your chest and soften your shoulder blades down the back. Allow the back of the shoulder blades to broaden across your mat. From here, do some ankle rotations. So we're hugging that left thigh knee into the chest, and at the same time, slowly, in a full range of movement, rotating the left ankle joint. And then slowly in the opposite direction. Now keep your right leg really active by pressing the right heel down, drawing the toes up towards your head, and actively drawing the thigh muscles down into the thigh bone. Keep on drawing that left thigh knee into the chest, and then straighten your left leg to the ceiling, interlace behind the back of the left thigh. From here, flex your foot, draw your toes up towards your head as if you're trying to walk on the ceiling. Notice a sense of opening into the back of the calf, the back of the knee as you do so. I want you to really press your left sit bone down into the mat comfortably, and imagine your left hip crease is rolling back and down. From here, point your left foot and notice the opening into the top of your left foot, ankle and shin. And then move with your breath as you breathe in, flex your foot, draw the toes to your head, sole of foot to the ceiling, and then breathing out, pointing the foot. Do that 2 more times, just creating some movement into the ankle joint, and notice which way provides the most sense of opening or freedom of your movement. Allow that left leg to be comfortable and take your palms down onto the floor. Now to support your back rather than having your right leg straight, you can choose to bend your right knee and keep the foot on the floor. For further support into your back, your hands could be underneath your buttocks. So you could kind of roll underneath and bring your palms to face down underneath your buttocks to support your back even more. Otherwise, if comfortable, just take your arms to the side, palms down. So take a breath in and start to lower your left leg until the heel is just above the floor. Lengthen out through the back of that leg, make it grow long. And as you breathe out, slowly, using your abdominal muscles, raising your left toes towards your head, sole of foot to ceiling. Breathing in, lowering it down. See if we can lengthen the inhalation. Hover just above the floor, lengthen out through that leg. Breathe out as you raise up. Lift using the abdominal muscles. Imagine you're lifting rather than using your thigh muscles. Breathe in as you lower down. Control the movement. And as you breathe out, lifting up. One more time. Remembering to support your back, you can also bend the right knee, foot on the floor, and take your hands underneath your buttocks to produce a sense of lift. Breathe out as you come up. Pause here, and then start to do little circles. Control the movement. Imagine you are literally drawing a circle on that ceiling. See how perfect you can make it. And then draw circles in opposite direction. Again, feel the circles are coming from your deep abdominal muscles. So make the circle slow and control it. And then hug your left thigh and knee into your chest. Take your arms out at shoulder height, palm facing up, and straighten again your left leg to the ceiling. We're going to roll over onto the right side to bring the left leg across the body towards the right side of the floor, about 90 degrees. Back of the shoulder blades stay on the mat. We're going to bring the left leg back up to the ceiling. Now I've got a wall here, so I can't open it very far, but you're going to take your left leg out to the left, about 90 degrees. Bring the left leg back to the ceiling. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out, roll all the way over to your right side, turn your head to look to your left as you bring your left leg across your body 90 degrees, back of shoulder blades printing into the floor. On an in-breath, lift the left leg to the ceiling. On an out-breath, open the left leg out to the right, comfortably for you. Maintain right buttock on the floor. Turn to look over at your right palm. Breathe in, bring the left leg back to the ceiling. Continuing like this, breathing out, roll over to your right, left leg 90 degrees to the floor to the right. Turn to look at the left, both arms imprinting into the floor. On an inhalation, raise the left leg to the ceiling. On an exhalation, open the left leg to the left as you turn to look to the right. Breathing into the center. One more time, breathing out, left leg to the right, turn to look to the left. Roll over to your right to do so. Breathe into the center, back onto your back. Breathing out, left leg to the left, turn to look to your right. Breathe into the center. Soften the breath as you hug the left thigh and knee into the chest. From here, hug your right thigh and knee into the chest. Moving on to the other side, left leg is straight. Option, of course, for your lower back is to bend the left knee and take the foot onto the floor. Otherwise, straightening the left leg and keep drawing that right thigh knee into the chest. From here, begin your ankle rotations, nice and slow. And see if you can remember how your left ankle joint was compared to your right. Have we got the same range of movement and motion? Circle in the opposite direction. So keep your left heel imprinting down. Draw your left toes up to your head and tighten comfortably as if you're drawing the top of your left thigh muscles up towards your left hip and then sinking that thigh muscle into the bone. Okay, from here, straighten your right leg to the ceiling, interlace behind the back of your right thigh. Flex your foot, drawing your toes up towards your head as you're trying to imagine you're pressing the sole of your foot to the ceiling. And notice a nice opening into the back of your calf, knee and hamstring. A couple more breaths here. Keep on pressing your right sit bone back down, rolling your right hip crease back and down. And then pointing your right foot. And then notice a nice opening into the shin, front of foot and ankle joint. Another breath or two here. And then moving with your breath as you breathe in, flexing your foot, heel to ceiling, toes to head. Breathing out, pointing the foot. Do that 2 more times. Bring a nice opening into the ankle joint so when we do our standing poses, we've got a good range of movement and motion here. From here, take your palms down onto the ground and start to do small circles with your right leg. We'll do the circles first before we lower and raise it. So control the movement and make the circles nice and slow. And again, feel that The circle is being driven from your deep abdominal muscles rather than just using your leg to move the circles. And then slowly in the opposite direction, controlling the movement. Bring the right leg back to the ceiling. So option to support your back, again, left knee is bent, foot on the floor, and maybe taking your hands underneath your buttocks, palms down, resting the buttocks on there to support a lift into your lower back. Otherwise, arms to the side, left leg straight. Breathing in, lowering your right leg until the heel is just above the floor. Lengthen out through the back of that leg. As you breathe out, raise slowly using your abdominal muscles, feeling you are doing this, to draw your toes to your head. And here we go, breathing in. See if you can lengthen the inhalation, heel just above the floor. Breathing out, see how long we can breathe out for comfortably. You don't want to hold the breath. 3 more times. The inhalation lowers as slow as you can with control. Breathing out, the exhalation is lifting. Making sure you're also utilizing the options to support your back if needed, please. 1 more time on the exhalation, lifting up. All right, okay, let's bend the right thigh and hug the right thigh and the into the chest. And then straighten your right leg to the ceiling, arms out to the side, palm facing up. So I'm going to roll over to the left side, taking the right leg over 90 degrees. My wall has prevented me. Turn to look over at your right palm. Come back onto your back, and then opening your right leg out to the right 90 degrees as you turn to look over to your left palm. So as you breathe in, you're raising your right leg to the ceiling. As you breathe out, you're rolling over to your left, bringing your right leg across your body 90 degrees to the floor, looking over at your right palm. When you breathe in, you bring your right leg back to the ceiling. Breathing out, open your right leg out to the right, turn to look over to the left. Continue breathing in, right leg to the ceiling. Breathing out, right leg, open the body to the left, turn to look over to the right. Breathing in, right leg up to the ceiling. 1 more time, breathing out, right leg over to the right palm, 90 degrees, turn to look at the left palm. Breathing into the ceiling. Breathing out, bend the knee, hug the thigh, knee into the chest. Draw both thighs and knees into your chest, keeping your knees together, and then finding your block now, and take your block between your inner thighs, squeezing the inner thighs together. Taking either your arms out to the side, palms facing up, or if it's comfortable, interlace your fingers behind the back of the head with your elbows out to the side. This may be a little harder option in that we do want to keep the elbows and the back of the shoulders onto the floor. So if there's any shoulder issues going on, maybe take your arms out, palms up, but just have a play, see what's most comfortable for you. Here we go, take a deep breath in, draw the thighs towards the chest, squeeze the block, breathe out to the right, knees over to the right elbow, hover them just above the floor, turn to look at your left. Using the deep abdominal muscles to lift as you breathe in. Breathing out, knees and thighs over to your left elbow, hover them just above the floor, turn to look at your right. As you breathe in, come back to the center. So breathing out, thighs and knees over to your right elbow, hover them just above the floor, keep both elbows into the floor or both arms out to the side, breathe into the center. Breathing out and over to the left, turning to look at the opposite side. Breathing into the center. Continue 2 more times on each side. To support the back, the option would be to just keep the feet on the floor and to take the knees from side to side with the feet on the floor rather than drawing the thighs and knees into the chest. But I do trust that you guys will always do what is best for you, knowing that I can't see you, but you are listening to your bodies. Come back to the center, removing the block, and hug your thighs and knees into your chest. From here, roll all the way over to the side, coming up to the hands and the knees. So your palms are underneath your shoulders, you're spreading your fingers apart, and your knees are underneath your hips. From here, lengthening the tailbone to the heels, slide your shoulder blades down the back, and as you do so, press your palms into the mat, and imagine you're drawing your palms back to your thighs. And then soften that sensation of drawing your palms back, and focus on drawing your sternum forward now, Broaden your collarbone, slide your shoulder blades down the back. Take a breath out, curling under. Chin to chest, navel to spine, curl the tailbone under. So as you breathe in, tailbone lengthens, sternum draws forward, collarbones broaden, gaze looks forward and up. As you breathe out, chin to chest, curling it under, press the floor away, navel to spine, tailbone under. Breathing in, drawing the chest forward, broaden your collarbones, lengthen your tailbone back. Breathing out, curling under, press the floor away, chin to chest, navel to spine, press that space between your shoulder blades to the ceiling. Breathing in and up. Breathing out, curling under. One more time, breathing in and up. And breathing out, curling under. From here, come back to the hands and the knees, moving into the three-legged cat, which is always an interesting balance pose. So we're going to coordinate left arm and right leg. So just pause, have all four bases on contact with your mat. And here we go. Breathing in, left arm and right leg, lengthen in each direction. Your palm turns into your face and you extend through fingers and heels. On an out breath, palm and knee at the same time down. Breathing in, right arm and left leg, lengthen forward through your fingers as you extend back through that heel. On an out breath, palm and knee plant down at the same time. Breathing in, left arm and right leg, lengthen forward and extend back. Breathing out, planting down. Breathing in, right arm and left leg, lengthen forward as you extend back. Breathing out, planting down. One more time in each direction, moving on the inhalation, planting on the exhalation. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. From here, keeping the knees underneath the hips, walk your arms forward. So your hips stay stacked on top of your knees. You're going to lengthen your arms forward and sink your chest, your armpits and your foreheads down towards the floor. Helping to open and release into the shoulders, into the upper chest. I want you to make sure that your knees are under your hips. You're lengthening your arms forward, nice and wide apart. Spread your fingers wide apart, pressing your palms and fingertips into the mat. Roll your armpits in towards each other. And then from here, slide all the way down onto your stomach, coming into the Sphinx pose. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders, a little bit forward so you have space, and your wrists and forearms are in a straight line. Your feet are nice and wide apart, and you're pressing your front of your feet into the mat, lengthening your tailbone back to your heels. As you press your palms down, draw your palms back towards you, feel your shoulder blades draw together and down, and draw and shine your sternum forward. Not your chin, you want to keep your chin drawn in and down. So I want you to feel you've got broadness in your collarbones, and you're pressing your palms lightly down, and then drawing your palms back towards you as you draw your chest and sternum forward. Pressing the pubic bone into the mat, tailbone lengthening, front of feet presses down. So when you press the front of your feet down, you should feel on the top of your thighs activating. Now from here, I want you to interlace your fingers. Okay, interlacing your fingers, drawing your palms together. So your elbows are stacked underneath your shoulders. We're going to go into a little bit of a strength and a core work here. So I want you to curl your toes under. What we're going to be doing is going to be lifting and pressing up into a low plank pose. So if you need to watch. Otherwise, curl the toes under, press your elbows and the back of your forearms into the mat, navel to spine, and then lifting up. Extend back through your heels, draw the sides of your waist in. If it's too much pressure on your lower back, then drop your knees down to the floor. Drop the hips down in one straight line. Otherwise, holding it into a plank pose. Extend back through the heels, lengthen through the crown of your head. Power up into that amazing, strong core. A few more breaths. Smiling and laughing, because we did not expect to do this so early on. And then taking the knees down. Walk your hands up, open the knees apart, touch the big toes, extend back into pose of child for a few rests. Soften the forehead down. Again, if it's not comfortable to rest your forehead onto the mat, find a block to rest underneath your forehead. If the buttocks don't touch the heels, you can sit back onto a cushion or a bolster, and then float back up to hands and knees. From here, bring your right foot between the hands. Make sure your knee is right on top of your ankle, hands either side, back foot presses down, and comfortably start to sink your back hip and side comfortably down for you. Feel that you're gently drawing your back thigh forward and your front heel towards your back thigh, squeezing, activating into the inner thigh muscles. Front foot presses down, raising your arms up, lengthen through the fingers. So back foot presses down, back thigh feels like it's lengthening down and drawing forward. Front heel is drawing towards your back thigh. And you're lifting out of your lower back. You're lengthening through both sides of your waist. Softening shoulder blades down, smiling. And from here, hands either side. Curl the back toes under. Option just to stay here and hang out for a while. Or lift your back knee off the mat. Lift your hips and buttocks a bit high and press into that back heel. Chin draws in and down, so keep your back of the neck long. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And as you extend into that back heel, draw your right hip crease back and down to the back of your mat. From here, we're going to go into a plank pose. Option is always to go do hands and knees and a few cat-cows. Otherwise, here we go. Step your front foot back. Roll the shoulders on top of your wrist creases. Extend back through the heels. Press the floor away. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Just a couple of breaths here. And then back onto the hands and the knees. Step your left foot forward so your knee is on top of your ankle. Back foot presses down. Back thigh lengthens down. Draws towards your front heel draws towards your back thigh. Raise your arms up. Soften the shoulder blades down. And see how long we can lift up out of our lower back. How much space can we make here? And how can we soften shoulder blades down? Focus on the awareness of our breath. Beautiful and smooth here. And then hands either side, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee off the mat. Extend into that back heel. Grow long through the crown of your head and draw your left hip crease back towards the back of your mat. Option, we're going to move into plank zone. We'll just do hands and knees as the other option. Otherwise, draw that front foot back, rolling the shoulders on top of your wrist creases. Press the mat away. Extend back through the heels, long line through the crown of your head, out through the heels. Front of the rib cage draws down to the navel, navel to spine. Sides of waist hug in. From here, we're going to press back into down dog. So bend your knees. Lift and press and rise your sit bones to shine and touch the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide apart, elbows off lock. Hug the front of your ribs into your back. Now allow that chin to soften down into the base of the throat. Allow the crown of your head to lengthen down. Pouring down from the top of your hips down, out through the crown of your head. As you lift up from the heels, lift up through the back of the thighs, rise the sit bones to touch the ceiling. Few more breaths here. And then bend your knees and walk up to the top of your mat. Feet are about sit bone distance apart. Bend the knees, sit back onto your chair, imaginary chair, rise your arms up, press for your feet, come all the way up, lengthen through the fingers. Palms into the center of the chest. Rise your arms forward and up, lengthen through the fingers. Bend the knees, hinge forward from the hips, come into a forward fold. Bend the knees as you step your right leg back, knee on the mat, and sinking that down. Raise your arms up as you lengthen through your fingers. Take your hands down either side. Step your front foot back and come into a high plank, rolling the shoulders on top of the wrist creases. Come down to the knees. Lower yourself down into one straight line onto the mat. Take your forehead onto the floor. Take your hands either side of your chest. Spread the fingers wide apart. Drawing your elbows into the sides of your waist and sliding your shoulder blades down the back. Actively press through the front of your feet. Keep the chin drawn in and down, and as you breathe in, drawing your chest forward and up, barely touching the mat. On out breath, lowering down. Breathing in, drawing your chest forward and up, barely touching the mat. Breathing out, lowering down. Breathing in and up. And breathing out to lower. Curl the toes under, breathe in, press up to hands and knees. Breathe out, lift back into down dog. Come down to the hands and the knees. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward. Fold forward from the hip creases. Bend the knees, coming into a forward fold. Bend the knees, sit back onto imaginary chair. Bring your arms forward and up. Press for your feet, come all the way up. Hands into the center of the chest. Let's do that on the other side. So raise your arms forward and up. Bend the knees, hinge forward from the hip creases, forward fold. Bend the knees, step the left leg back, knee on the mat, front knee on top of your ankle. Raising the arms forward and up, relax that back foot down. Take your hands either side, curl the back toes under. Bring the front foot back, come into a high plank. From here, bend the knees, lift back into down dog. Softening the breath, breathing naturally. Come down to the hands and the knees. Lower yourself down onto the ground, one straight line. Soften your forehead down, bring your arms to the side of your body, palm facing up. The option here before we begin, the option is to keep your head on the ground and to alternate lifting one leg at a time. Otherwise, when I cue to begin, we'll be raising head, chest, both legs and arms. Please do what feels comfortable for you. Breathing in, raising head, chest, legs, and turn the palms to face in as you lengthen back through your fingers and lengthen back through your toes. Draw your chin in and down. On and out breath, lowering down. Breathing in and up. Feel that you're being lifted through that navel center, powering up here. Breathing out, coming down. Breathing in and up, or you're alternating your legs. Breathe out to lower. One more time, breathing in and up, lifting up, lengthen back. Draw your shoulder blades together and down. Breathing out, coming down. Take your elbows out to the side, stack your hands on top, rest your forehead on top, and just breathing into that lower back for a few breaths here. Directing your breath into your lower back, feeling that you can create space here. And then taking your hands either side of your chest, curl the toes under, lift up to hands and knees, extend back into down dog, bend your knees, walk out to the center of your mat, come to the middle of your mat, bend your knees, sit back onto your imaginary chair, raise your arms forward and up, press for your feet, come all the way up, and then relaxing your arms down. So finding your block, here we go. Come back here so you can see me. All right, so finding your block here, placing it between the inner thighs, squeeze, interlacing your fingers, take your palms up to the ceiling, take a breath in, we're going over to the right, coming over to the right, press out through your palms, breathe into the center, breathing out over to your left, pressing out through your palms, into the center, breathing out over to the right, into the center, breathing out over to your left, into the center. Relax your arms and interlace your fingers behind your back, keeping the elbows quite bent, drawing your palms together and your forefingers down towards your heels. Drawing your shoulder blades together and down. From here, we're going to bend the knees, Keep squeezing the block. Fold forward from the hip creases, forehead towards the knees. Bring your arms over the back of the head, or just feel they can lift a little bit off the buttocks. Relax the hands down, press through your feet, chin to chest, come all the way up. Relax the hands, and then from here, raise your arms overhead. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. I know my hands have disappeared, but hold your left wrist with your right hand. Breathe in, breathe out over to your right. Breathing in, coming up, hold on to your right wrist with your left hand. Breathe out, come over to your left. Breathing in to come up. One more time on each side. Breathing out, hold on to your left wrist with your right hand. So opening and releasing into the side of the body to release into lower back. Hold on to your right wrist with your left hand on the out breath, coming over to your left. Breathing in to come up. Releasing the arms out and down, just rolling the shoulders. Releasing the block from underneath your thighs and holding onto the block with your palms either side of your block. Raise your arms overhead, and for more stability, have your feet a good hip width apart. Soften your shoulder blades into your back. Don't drop your block. I want you to press your palms into the sides of your block. Feel that you can slide your shoulder blades down the back and squeeze and press the block. Not with all your might, just enough to hold it there. Keep moving your arms back by your ears, so you're strengthening into the shoulder joint and the muscle, stabilizing this. Make sure this is comfortable. Now breathe in, lengthen up. Breathe out, come over to your right. Breathe in to lift up. You're still pressing the block or it's going to drop. Breathe out over to your left, not that I can see. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out and over to your right. Breathing in to come up. One more time on each side. Breathing out and over to your left. Breathing in to come up and breathing out. Relax your arms all the way down. Give the shoulders a nice roll around. Okay, just release the block off to one side. From here, coming to the top of your mat so your feet are comfortably about hip width apart. Hands onto your hips. Right foot stays to the top. Bend the knee a little bit and step your left leg back. A nice generous step. So your back toes are turned in and your front knee, which is your right leg, your front knee is on top of your ankle. Your back toes are turned in about a 45-degree angle and your heel to heel. Just start to straighten that front leg, gaze down at that foot, and when you bend the knee, make sure that knee is trailing towards your second and third toe. Start to press up that front foot to straighten that front leg, and again bending that knee on top of your ankle. Keep the spine in one straight line. Bring your arms out at shoulder height, soften the shoulders down, lengthen out through your fingers. So we're going to roll the palms and the forearms to face up, and then roll them down. Just to open into those shoulders. Roll the palms up and then roll the palms down. From here, turn to look over your front hand into warrior two. Breathing evenly and deeply. From here, take your front forearm on top of your thigh. Open your chest out and up to the ceiling and raise your top arm up at shoulder height. Unless it's more comfortable for the shoulder to be relaxed and have your hand onto your hip. You're going to focus on opening your chest out and up to the ceiling, so either hand onto the shoulder or arm up at shoulder height. You can gaze up at the ceiling if that suits your neck, otherwise turn to look straight ahead over the horizon. From here you can extend if comfortable by turning the palm down and bring the arm over the ear in one straight line. Lengthen through your top fingers and extend in a long straight line into that back heel, little toe. From here, come all the way back up into warrior two, straighten that front leg. Take your hands onto your hips. Take your right arm out and come as far out over to the side as if you're trying to touch the wall. Soften the front knee, you can have a little bit of a bend in it if you need to. Bring your top hand down to either just above the knee onto your thigh or below the knee onto your shin. Open your chest and your rib cage out and up to the ceiling and extend your top arm up at shoulder height. Again, if it's not suitable for a shoulder, you can take your hand onto your wrist. Into the triangle pose to have length into the spine. Feel again, if it's not comfortable to look up, that you're looking at the horizon. Lengthen out through the crown of your head few more breaths here. And then as you breathe in, come all the way up. And breathing out, relax the arms down. So we'll do that on the other side. So turning your right foot in, turn your left foot out 90 degrees, angle your back toes in about 45, front heel is in line with your back heel. Bend the front knee on top of your ankle. Again, things we want to make sure to protect the knee joint, that we're not allowing that knee to turn in. We want the center of the knee to be about over your second or third toe. Sometimes if you take the back of that hand into that knee and do a little bit of resistance, the knee is trying to come in and your hand is going, no, I don't think so. And it stays there. And just see how you need to switch on your inner thigh muscles to hold it there. And then release and start to straighten that front leg. Bending the knee on top of your ankle. Again, feeling that you can have a bit of resistance, even put the hand there. It really helps to activate into the muscles. And then straighten. And this time we're going to go into warrior two. Bend the knee on top of your ankle, arms out to the side at shoulder height. Sometimes we have a tendency to tighten the shoulders up. So we're going to soften the shoulders down, lengthen out through the fingertips, roll the arms up, the palms and the forearms up, and then turn the palms down. Roll the palms up, so we're opening into the shoulders and chest, turn them down. Gaze over your front hand, and then from here into the side angle pose, front forearm onto the thigh, back arm up at shoulder height. We're going to focus on opening your chest and your rib cage out and up to the ceiling. Again, the top hand can rest onto that hip if it's more comfortable. And the gaze can be looking straight ahead over the horizon or up towards the top fingers. Extending if we wish, palm down, arm over the ear in one straight line. Opening chest up to the ceiling, top shoulder blade softens into the back. And here we go into warrior two as we breathe in to lift up, into warrior two, breathe out to straighten that front leg. A little bit of softness in the knee. Hands onto your hips, front hand out, come all the way over, trying to touch the side, and then come down. Hand either above the knee, onto the thigh or onto the shin. Open chest and rib cage out and up to the ceiling. Back hand can stay here or the top hand can come up at shoulder height. The head is where it's comfortable. If it's comfortable to look up, look up. If it feels better to look down or over the horizon. A few more breaths here. Lengthen out through the crown of your head and kind of feel like you're radiating, but like a starfish, from the center of the chest out through that bottom arm, up through the top arm, out through that bottom heel. So here we go to come up, breathe in, all the way up, breathing out, turn your foot in, relax your arms down. And from here, just kind of wiggle in a little bit. And then we're going to be using our block again. So finding your block. And from here, taking your block onto the center of your mat. And taking your right foot onto the block. Whoop, I've disappeared off the screen. I better come back a bit. Here we go. All right. So the hips are level. Make sure your hips are level. So you need to switch on your outer glute med muscle to do this. Switching this on. And then from here, take your hands onto your hips. Find a focus point to look at. Micro bend your right knee so you're not locking it. And bring your left knee and thigh level with your left hip. Without moving your torso, keep your spine in a straight line. We want to draw the left thigh and knee into the chest without drawing the chest inwards. We don't want to collapse that spine. So draw the knee in, but keep your spine upright. From here, we can stay here, or if we wish to challenge our balance, we're going to open the left hip and knee out to the side, take hold of that ankle, and just hold that foot in place as we press that foot into the inner thigh. So this is your classical tree pose on a block, just for a bit of fun. Hold it here. If this is just not happening tonight, then stay with holding the thigh into the chest. Or hop off your block, find a chair or a wall and place your hand onto it, okay? There's a couple of options there. To finish it off, grand finale, if we wish, arms over the head, soften the front of the rib cage in, and see how steady we can maintain our gaze onto a point and how the awareness is now drawn into the breath. How steady and smooth is your breath, and whatever pose or shape you're in, whether you're holding your thigh and your knee into your chest, whether you're using stability and strength of a wall or chair, focus your awareness onto your breath. From here, drawing the thigh knee back into the chest, relax the arms down, bend the knee and slowly come off. Give the leg a shake about. So let's do the tree onto the block just for a little bit of extra fun. It's really important to see how we can alter height to allow our balance to grow, because we get very used to just doing a balance on the ground. When we bring in an extra element, that's how we learn to grow. So bring your hips level, switching on your outer glute med, lifting it up, and then draw your right hip and knee level. So again, maintain that length in your spine, because we have a tendency when we draw a knee in to kind of come in and hug it in. So we don't want to do that. We're going to draw it in using the strength of the hip flexors, draw the thigh knee into the chest, lengthen your tailbone down, bit of a micro bend in that left knee. We can stay here. This is a fab balance. We can hop off and find a chair and put our left hand on it. Or extending into it, open your right hip and knee out to the side, hold on to that foot and press the foot into the thigh as you press the thigh into the foot at the same time. You want your hip bones to be even. You can stay holding it here, or we can lengthen up through the fingers, slide the shoulder blades down our back. Notice if the rib cage is popping out, so draw on the front of your ribs in, and connect into your breath, whether your arms are supported with the strength of a chair or a wall. Find that sense of connection to your breath, because this is your guide. This is how it's telling you where your mind is going, and how your body is feeling. To come out of it, draw the right thigh knee into the chest, take the arms down, and then step off. Give the legs a good shake about. One more balance pose, because I'm loving doing what's called the eagle pose, because it's super heating, which we need because it's getting a tad chilly out here. All right, so taking the weight into both feet, bend your knees, hands onto your hips, cross your right knee over your left, taking your toes, turning them into the sides so your toes are onto the back mat for balance. Hips are facing forward, squeeze your inner thighs together and sit down into a chair rather than leaning forward onto a table. Okay, sit down into a chair. From here, arms out like a little goalpost. And take your right elbow underneath your left. Bring the back of the hands together, or if space, palms together. Squeeze your elbows together. From here, draw your shoulder blades down the back. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your elbows together. Sit down into your chair. Raise your elbows up as high as you can. From here, you should be feeling a bit of heat happening. Sometimes it can mentally and emotionally show up in a little bit of frustration and annoyance. Embrace it, welcome it, and just burn it through. Bend the knees, sit back into a chair, squeeze everything in. Now harness all your power of your mind to gaze at one point and feel your breath. Fast, slow, even, uneven, just observe it. If it's comfortable and you want to challenge yourself more, just begin to lift your right toes off the floor. Hold it there. And then toes down, unwind arms, unwind legs, come up, shake the legs about. Okay, here we go. Two sides, only two legs, thank goodness. Right, bend the knees, sit down into a chair. Cross your left knee over your right, turn your toes out to the side, sit down a little bit further, comfortable for you. Arms out to the side, squeeze your inner thighs and squeeze your knees in, and taking your, what are we doing? Oh yeah, left elbow under right. There we go, worked it out. Back of hands together or your palms. Elbows as high as you comfortably can. slide your shoulder blades down your back. Sit down a little bit further. Lift your elbows up. Find your focus point. It's called the eagle pose because you have to focus. And it's a heating pose, so brilliant to do to burn through that frustration of how long have we been here? 6 weeks, 7 weeks? I've lost count. Okay, to challenge yourself further, lift your left toes off the mat if you wish. Hold it there. Squeeze everything in. Feel that heat. Toes down, open, unwind, give your legs a shake about. Come to the top of your mat again. So your feet are about hip width apart. Palms into the centre of our chest. Raise our arms forward and up, lengthening up. Hinge forward from the hips, coming to a forward fold. Step your right leg back. Step your left leg back. Extend back into the mountain pose. Come down to the hands and the knees. Extend back into pose of child just for a couple of breaths. And then float up to a seated position. So you might like to sit to the top of our mat. We've just got 2 more poses before relaxation. I think time goes faster on this World Wide Web of a camera. Okay, I'm going to go sideways to you. So I'm just sitting to the top of the blanket, moving into that beautiful boat pose we've been practicing. So keeping the knees bent, feet on the floor, hands to the back of the knees. And we want to draw the abdomen into your thighs. Chin draws in and down. And then balance back so we're sitting onto our sit bones. So maintain this. If you notice your shoulders are starting to come up, soften them down. Broaden through your collarbones. Now staying here is balance and focus. Find a focus point, feeling your breath. If you wish to extend and your back is feeling happy, go for it. Otherwise, stay here. If you wish to extend, bringing the legs up and then down into a V shape, like a boat pose. Draw the chest up. A few more breaths here. And then bending the knees. Hug the thighs and knees into the chest, lifting up and then curling into the upper back. Take your forehead down and then coming back up and straightening your legs out in front of you. Come back to the centre, finishing with a beautiful twist. Hugging the right thigh knee into the chest, right foot to the outside of your left leg, right hand behind us, and left arm hugs and draws the abdomen and the right thigh into the abdomen. Take a breath in, facing the front, and when you breathe out, turning your eye gaze and your head to look over your back shoulder down to the floor. Holding it here, closing the eyes. And allowing the breath to flow freely in both sides of your nostrils as you begin to watch and observe the breath here. Noticing the natural flow of your breath, beginning in the base of your nostrils. Notice and feel that when you breathe in, draw the breath up the left and right nostrils to the eyebrow center. Notice and feel when you breathe out, the breath splits and travels back down both sides of your nostrils. And then slowly unwinding, coming back to face to front, straightening your leg out, hugging your left thigh knee into your chest, taking your left foot to the outside of your right leg, left hand behind you, and with your right arm hugging and drawing that thigh into the abdomen. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, turning your head to the go of your back shoulder down towards the floor. And then soften and close your eyes. Draw the awareness to the natural flow of your breath in both sides of your nostrils. Watch and feel the breath here. As you breathe in, drawing a breath up both sides of your nostrils to the eyebrow center. Watch and feel when the breath splits and travels back down. both sides of your nostrils. And gently unwind and come back to face to front and straightening your legs out. And from here, making yourself comfortable into lying down into Shavasana. And it might just be a short one. So Daryl, please, next week, remind me to have a long relaxation. But for now, come onto your backs. Have something underneath your knees to support your lower back, and place something underneath your head to produce length into the back of the neck, drawing the chin slightly in and down and covering yourself up with a blanket. Bring your body into one straight line, lying upon your mat. Make sure you are warm and comfortable. Allow the feet to be soft out to the sides, the legs are slightly separated, the arms a little bit out to the sides of your body, and gently rolling your forearms and your palms to face up. Let the eyes be gently closed and the tongue soft within the mouth. Bring the awareness into your whole physical body lying upon the floor. Feeling the space and the weight of your body upon the floor. Become aware of every part of your body that's in contact with the floor. Feeling the awareness of your heels pressing into the floor. The calf muscles pressing into the floor. The buttocks. The middle of your back. Your shoulder blades. Feel the back of your shoulders and the back of your arms into the floor. Feeling the back of the head into the floor. And with every point of contact, feel a heaviness and a sinking into the floor. Allowing the out-breath to be the vehicle to carry you deeper and deeper into a sense of release and sinking into the floor beneath. Bring your awareness into the body above the mat. Bring the awareness into the top of your feet and your shins, your kneecaps and the top of your thighs. Feeling into the hips, abdomen, torso, chest. Feeling into the top of your shoulders and the top of your arms. Feeling into the throat space and your face. Every part above the floor, a sense of lightness. Every out-breath, a sense of releasing the body light and effortless above the floor. Feeling into the weight of your whole body upon the floor. And feel that you can breathe into the space that your body occupies, into the floor. And within this space, as you breathe in, feel a sense of expansion. And within the space of your body, as you breathe out, feel a sense of release and relaxation inwards. A sense of expansion throughout your body in every space as you breathe in, and a sense of relaxation and release with every out breath. And then from here, begin to direct the awareness to the sounds around you within the room that you're in. And extend this awareness into listening to sounds within your house and beyond, into the straight. Keep shifting the awareness to new and distant sound. From here, draw the awareness closer back into your room. Bring the awareness closer still into the breath within your body. Feel and listen to the sound of your own breath within your body. And from this place, allow the breath to deepen. Now take your awareness behind your closed eyes into the mind space. From this space, feel that you are looking into an infinite space in all directions, front and back, top and bottom, left and right, the infinite space that is your mind. From this space, gazing and becoming aware of any of your thoughts, any of your feelings, pictures, patterns, or colours that come and go across and within the space of your mind. And from this point, become aware very clearly that you are the witness. We are not analysing or becoming involved within any space that occupies the mind. We are merely looking. Become the witness of your mind. If you notice you become caught up within a particular thought, picture, or pattern, acknowledge this and come back to witnessing, observing, without judgment. From this place, begin to withdraw the awareness of being the witness and come back to witnessing your breath, feeling the breath in both sides of your nostrils. And from here, witness the position of your body and the space your body occupies upon your mat. From this place, feel you can move with a sense of ease and grace and purpose for the rest of your evening. Stretch your arms over your head from fingertips to toes in each direction. And then slowly roll over to the side and come up to a seated position so we can close our last Zoom session in our lounges. So coming up with your spine straight, sitting on what is comfortable for you, bring your palms into the heart space and lightly bow the chin towards the base of your throat. From this place of acknowledgement and awareness, we thank ourselves mentally for the strength and fortitude that we have used to preserve our bubbles, that we have used to preserve the health and safety of our community and the love of this country. From this space, we give thanks to the physical health of our own bodies, that through this time we have maintained with strength and awareness. And from this place, we give thanks to the mental and emotional huge impact that we have carried. And I thank you so much for being on this incredible journey with me. I've never, ever, ever filmed a class before. So thank you for your time and patience with this. From my heart to yours, I thank you. And I'll just come over and unmute you slowly. Let's see. Unmute all. There we go. Yeah, hey. So yes, email everyone out and all going well, because there will be people away for a while, and Jeff, you're away for a couple of weeks. That would only bring us to 7 or 8 anyway, so what I'll do is I'll email everyone out, and if possible, might just say, please text me by 5 o'clock if you can make the class, and I'll know. Oh, hello, Neil. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
I'll just write you down for a moment.
Yeah.
Did you hear my spiel in the beginning? How we're in the
No.
Okay, so we're in the Scout Den next week, as far as I know, but as we all know, I will let everyone know at 5:30.
Okay. 5:30. Yeah.
Because we can only have 10, and at this stage there's going to be at least three people away for the next while.
Okay.
4, 6, 8. We've got 8 anyway. 8, 9. Are you here for a while, Neil?
Yeah. 3 more weeks.
Okay, so there you go. With people in and out, I'm pretty confident we'll be fine.
Okay.
Excellent.
See you next week, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Thank
you.
Thanks very much indeed for taking us out.
Bye-bye.
Say hi to everyone.
Good night.
Bye and bye. Okay.
Good night.
Bye, guys.